प्रतिपातकं तम् आनन्दतीर्थमुनिवर्यं नमामि। पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहैः तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Well, last week, we have seen the continuity of the last week. We have seen, how the entire, what we are doing in this world is we are going inward as well as outward and all. We had seen certain concepts, and we have also seen, how the modern scientific advancements, what modern scientific thoughts also trying to go into the same goal, because the way of science is different, the way of philosophy is different. The philosophy tries to go and understand the human behavior, human thought, and human psychosis, and how it is bringing forth whatever the human beings are doing and all. One of the things in this context we will have to talk about is very this mantra also. Last week what we have seen, we will also see little briefly. One of the biggest thing that is being debated about in all philosophies, both Western and the Eastern philosophy, whether we do have a free will, because we are doing everything free. What is free will? Free will is whatever we want to. We have got a discretion to do. We can do, because we have got a free will. We can do anything we like. We can do it. That's what we think. We are doing it and all. Free will is the one, and then we have seen in this Upanishad itself, when you are exercising the free will, you are, I think, what you call a free will. Whether first we will have to establish whether we have a free will and all. We will have to understand that. We will get into that. We will get into that both philosophically as well as scientifically with the latest thoughts that has come about. And the next thing is, because even if we have free will, but how we are exercising the free will. And in this context only, whatever we are doing, whether we have a free will or not, we will see. But every action of ours, when we are doing in this world, there are always two choices that is presented in front of us. One is we saw it in Shreyas and Preyas. The Shreyas is the one which is good for us. It is like a bitter medicine which may be good for us, but we may not like to take it. Because that's why a lot of discipline is being brought about, how you should have control over your senses, not controlling the senses. The controlling the senses, in the psychological term, it will be called suppression. More you control your suppress your thoughts, your sort of feelings, your emotions, it will all build up into a big dam, and one day it will burst and it will become a chaos. And then what will happen is most of us will be something like a schizophrenic. We will be acting, because we will not be having any control over our actions, because when you suppress so many things. That is why, we gave the analogy of the computer, how the microprocessor, as well as, how we have got the cameras, mic, everything, and how they are working in coordination through the software, which is the operating system which has been given about. And then from there, the processor is processing, and through that, because the entire what we are processing every day, what we are feeling every day, what we are achieving every day, what we are getting every day is that process that happens. But how this process happens, is what we never have any occasion to do it, because nor we don't have any reason to do it. After all, we are living in this world. We have every day, we have got certain actions. We get up every day in the morning. Sometimes, in a good mood, sometimes in a bad mood. Sometimes, we are tired. Sometimes we are very fresh. We try to do so many things. So your actions are always being encompassed by your emotions and mood at that point of time. How it comes? How it comes, because basically if you see, even in the Gita, we have got a verse, we have seen it earlier also. It is, we have got three gunas. We have got Sattva, Rajasa and Tamasa. Three gunas are there. And the three gunas are called Prakriti. Prakriti in the sense, in this world when we are interacting, when we are awake, in the waking stage, whatever we are interacting, it is always, you will have to interact through, because the preponderance of one of these gunas always come forth. When you are trying to be, because when you elevated, when you are able to speak at a level, where you are able to take everyone along with you. And when you are able to get into your internal journeys, what we call adhyatma, because maybe you are trying to reflect You are able to hear, you are able to reflect, and you are able to internalize it when you do that. And what Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana, the terms what we are using, once you are having it, this entire process that happens, then you are able to, when sattva is preponderant, you are able to do that. But when rajasa is preponderant, you will be in the material world, you will be transactional world. A businessman will have to have rajasa, the preponderance of rajasa, because he has to work with the what he is going to get, what he is not going to get, how is he going to take care of the wealth, how he is going to take care of the assets, how he is going to look after the assets. Rajasa comes preponderance. But when you find, you have got, you feel bored, because the whole world is enjoying, because I don't have anything, I am not getting the opportunity to do, because the God has, my fate has taken me to this and all. And, then you don't take any effort and you want to wallow in your own suffering. And when you are wallow in your own suffering, as well as you feel you've got nothing to do, you have done everything, whatever is in your command. That means, come to the point that you've got nothing more to do. When you get bored, in the sense that is, because when the writer's block, what we call it, when the writer is not able to write any more words, a person, because even scientific block also they call it, some of the well-known scientists after some period of time, because they are not able to apply their mind to go forward, though they had so many ideas earlier and all, because it has got several reasons. One is they don't get a good team, and they are not in a place, because certainly they have been put into circumstances, they are not able to focus on that, they are being overpowered by other, the sort of challenges in the life. They are not able to do all these things happen. But in this point of time, when you think, you are into a rut, when you are not able to do everything and all, then you have to come out of that. To come out only this entire reflection and, your entire sort of what we call as internalizing, the reflections, what you are hearing, what you are thinking over, the clarity of the mind, that comes only when that. Because we go to the temples, they say, when you are in a problem, you go to this temple or you do this. What happens? It is not that. The God has got nothing to do with that. He is there. He has been there even before you go, and even when you go, he is there, and after you come back also, he is still there. But the vibration in that place and the atmosphere in that place, it takes away, because it declogs your mind. It gives you a clarity of your thought. Finally, you are able to do it. Generates. You get the right thought, right intuition to do that. Comes because that is what, every time, when people say it is insurmountable problem for someone else, it is in a jiffy. Look, because a man who is used to it, this happens here, what is there? You will certainly do it, because when you are doing a project, you will find, you will encounter a dead end. Nothing will be moving. You wonder, because whether it is, because those who are in the project, they will be understanding. Even in your life, when you have a goal, when you are not able to achieve, you may be thinking, I am doing everything possible in my power, in my command, but still it is not happening. But others are all getting it. That is what feeling is, because you don't know the other man's problem. You don't know the other man's battle and other man's war he is fighting with. But you think like that. That comes because your preponderance of tamas that has taken place, and you are not able to get into that sattva component of the sattva component is the one which finally gives you the clarity. When you get, when you are in a calm and contemplation, when you do meditation and all, what you are achieving is, apart from all other things they are all telling, because you are getting the visualization and all, it gives your sattva component gets into. The positivity gets into. The more the sattva is, means it is equivalent to positivity. All the negativity slowly comes down. You will not be able to bring down the negativity without accumulating the sattva. When you are doing a meditation, what you are doing, you are not thinking about any of the issues. You are just focusing on your breath. And when you are focusing on the breath, what happens? Because there is a rhythm that is taking place in this entire body. So what we call is laya, because when you are having a musical performance without the shruti and the laya, the performance will not be able to achieve what it wants. The performer will not be able to do achieve this laya and shruti of our own, what we have got. We are not able to get it in the time. Otherwise, because the action, every action of yours will be a music, the wonderful music of life. See, as we have got the very famous book, because we get the unheard music, when we say, we have got the music in us, but we are not able to hear because we are not in tune with our own laya and shruti, what we is in us. That is what this last mantra was trying to take us. When we are doing that, we will also be discussing because this is one point of it, when everything in that emotions, the feeling, the action, the perception, the thoughts, all of them is not coming just on their own. Because we have always used a word called, because we are believe in reincarnation or rebirth, because that is our philosophy says. Because you are carrying, lot of your thoughts, lot of baggages you are carrying from the previous birth as well as the current birth also, past experience. Everything has accumulated. We call it vasana. We give it a word called vasana that's being used in philosophy. And that vasana is the one which is controlling your sort of a will, free will. What you call as a free will is nothing but your actions are being conditioned by, controlled by your vasanas, as well as the knowledge which you are accumulating, the reflection what you are able to take. Suppose, if you are able to reflect, even from a younger age itself, your clarity of thought will be very, very clear. Even in corporate world, I have seen, because some of the groups, they don't go into the particular sort of a sector of the business at all. This has been proven, and I mean, this has been proven by the results of those groups itself, and by the vision of those group itself, the mission of the groups itself, how they are doing it. Because they know this sector, is not our cup of tea. We do not have the expertise. We can't go there. And these are all the expertise, because what you got the strength, you are able to do it. That is why SWOT analysis in the business studies always it is being talked about is what is your strength. Once you know that, you will be able to go into that. How do you know the strengths? Strengths are based on your vasanas. Why someone become a scientist in even the same family? Three children are there. One become a scientist. One becomes, he's become a trader. The another one becomes, something of a bureaucrat or something. How it happens? It is not that, because they have been given, because the parents may be of a different, they would like, all the children to be doctors or engineers or something like that. But the children will go in their own way. How it happens? It's all the vasanas. The vasanas that comes about, that trigger the interest in that trigger the curiosity into that, and this is what we say. That is why we feel that free will, what we talk about as said in Bhagavad Gita, it is all those, the three gunas, sattva, rajasa, and tamasa, that controls. Based on that only you are able to get more, you are able to be having a Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana, that is more you are able to reflect, internalize. I think your ability to get into that, the nobler ideas, the nobler thought, and elevate yourself to a higher level, that will come. Say a person who is going to be on the top of a command, because like a general officer commanding in chief or chief of army, he will not be bothering about little bit of things. He will be looking at the broad things. His vision will be far more wider, it will be encompassing all the units, all the sort of a northern command, southern command, western command, whatever it may be. And he will be strategically thinking about it. Whereas the command level, the person has to think about, the command, and the down the line, brigade level, he'll have to think about like that. Because there is you have got the responsibility at each level. That is what we call even the psychological hierarchy. The psychological hierarchy is there, but we don't realize that. After all, because we don't have to realize that, because we are placed in the hierarchy in that slot because of our vasanas and our ability to accumulate the knowledge in this way. So therefore, it is not to be taken as something, to be studied at, because it happens. That is why one of the thing, Nichocha Bhavam Gataha, one of the in Tattvavada, the philosophy it says is, you have to flourish to your potential. Your potential is inbuilt. As Vivekananda says, you've got all the capabilities in the world, what you want to do. But then, once you are closing your eyes with your palms and feel the world is dark and you don't have the opportunity, no one can help. But if you open your thing, it is there. You should be able to take it. You can't blame anyone. It is inbuilt into you. So therefore, that potential, how we have to use, that is what it is in this context only. Last mantra, what we say is, we said, yachet wang manasi. Because yachet in the sense, if you are able to merge in the sense, if you are able to get the laya of your own mind. I think there is, Prabhuda, I think you have to mute your mic, I believe. Yeah. Yachet Vang Manasi, Yachet in the sense it is the laya within us. So we have got our own tune. See, every one of us have got a tune. So in one of the, we have got a stotram by Raghavendra Swami. It is called Prata Sankalpa Gadya. So in the Prata Sankalpa Gadya, what he says, morning, morning onwards, what you are going to do, that is everything is offering, it is a sort of worship. It's not only the worship, you are enjoying, because you are into, you are surrendering yourself to a great yourself, and you are able to get the everyday's experience. He says, Vaibhavam, your everyday should be a celebration. It's not something you should be bothered about. It can happen once you are able to get the tune. Because if you are trying to have a jarring tune, because you are going to do something which you are not used to. You are going to do something, because when you have to do, you have to have something attended to in your house. Some crack has to be attended. You will have to call the mason only. You can't do it yourself, because with you should be doing a shabby job, and you will be having furthermore sort of the problems with yourself. That is why, once you know where your strength is there, what are all you enjoy doing it, you try to identify what you are enjoying doing it and all. So morning when you wake up, that's what they say, because Vivekananda says in so many words, when you get up in the morning, determine what you are going to enjoy, what you are going to do. And then, because what happens is during the world, because after you live through the day, when you go to the sleep, you go with, the fullest satisfaction, because, you've enjoyed the world and all. How it happens? Because during the day, whatever you are enjoying, whatever you enjoy doing it, whatever you enjoy reflecting, whatever, you are trying to attend to, if you do it, to understanding yourself, your own strengths and what you enjoy, and as well as trying to get into some of the things which you may be interested, because always we think, I have always been interested in all these things, I couldn't do it, because I was in the job, I didn't have any time. I didn't have any time is a common sort of a excuse all of us give, but time doesn't have any dimension. Space and time doesn't have any dimension, including if you see the space and time is a relative. The time is the one what we have created. The timelessness is the time, but we give a sort of a calibrated time to ourselves because we want to have a reference to that. Like the directions also, where the sun is rising, we call it east. That gives us a reference. But there is no one has said, this is the east, because sun is rising, and because the masters have also told us, when you have the east, you get the power of the sun and all. And in this context only, I will write to, because we will also be discussing, so many things are to be discussed, whom we call, the scientists who are also looking into, who are all called the atheists. They also have got a powerful argument, to show how things are naturally happening. But we are trying to tell, who is making it happen. And they say, no, it is all happening by itself. That is where the difference. It is not that they don't believe in God and all. They believe that what is happening in the nature. Nature has got its own design. And they call it, they are using a word called designoid. Designoid is the word, because that's being used by Richard Dawkins, is a world famous biologist. And he is the one, who is arguing that everything is happening in the natural design and no one can create that. It has got the power to do it, but the nature itself, if you allow the nature to do the things itself, and it will be doing in a very fine way. That's what he says. And in fact, I think, if you are, sometimes you can see that in the YouTube, you go, the poetry of reality. There is a program. The poetry of reality is, because how the reality, how the creations of the nature is so wonderful, you will be able to see when they explain, because by giving the living examples of all the species, you just wonder. There is a picture, there is a plant called pitcher plant. Pitcher plant, it has got something like a pitcher, the shape of the pitcher. It has got, it is able to gather some water into that because it is open. But whenever an insect comes and it has got, the edges have got a slippery surface there and it has got a coating, the insect falls into the pitcher and the pitcher closes. And after some time, because that entire insect is being digested by the plant. These plants are there in Africa. Yeah, we have also heard about this plant here and there and all somewhere, and because they show it with the live examples, how nature has created all these things. And the plant doesn't have any teeth. but it uses, I think, the external, because whatever comes in the way, the tooth type of thing, it uses to digest that and takes it, and the plant grows. Likewise, they are giving so many mysteries in the nature. They say it's all happening, it is being a design. Basically, they are all believing, what Charles Darwin has propounded, origin of species, whatever he called. So that is what they view, and origin of species, and they say every species, every cell is a species. But when the cell is able to react with the environment, when it's able to be compatible with the environment, the species proliferates. And when he's not able to communicate with the environment and not in consonance with the environment, the species gets extinct. This is what the poetry of reality is a wonderful program. You can see that sometimes, because how they explain the mysteries of the nature. And Richard Dawkins himself explains, and as a young lecturer at Royal College in 1990s and all. And because now of course it is the season, the Christmas lectures. They in the Royal Institute, they are every year they are conducting that Royal Institute lectures. It was started by Michael Faraday in 1850, and it is still continuing as a tradition. And in that, all the great masters have come and give the lectures, and it is one of those lectures. Likewise, when they say these are all the things, and we say, look, all these things have happened, how this design have taken place. How, because the entire the sun, even if it is changes its axis, even by a 0.001 degree, the entire earth and the species will be burnt alive. How it has not happened, how it is in its own axis, how it has been placed it in such a way it is able to give the energy, we are able to take it. Without the sun, the whole the life species can't remain in this earth. And it is one of the small component of the entire universe, multiverse they call it. The universe is not used any longer. Just to know there are so many galaxies, so many, because so many billion galaxies, they call it multiverse. That's why, I have sent, one YouTube from Deepak Chopra last week to Madam, just to show how we are a very, very puny, little and inconsequential element in the earth and as well as the species on the entire system of whole universe. We are nobody. But we think now we are able to see, we are able to use the Webb telescope, we are able to see, observe all the cosmology. We are able to mathematically project, how many things are there, how these things are there, and trying to find out, whether there are any sort of species in the other world. And it is also believed they could be. It's not ruled out. In fact, they say there could be, because they are also sending signals. And in fact, there is one more the great the research has come about our future and our past, how we are able to communicate, to the species in the other universe. So that's also they are trying to work out, and all these things are coming about. In spite of all these things, the science has got its own approach, but whereas philosophy has propounded all those things, very, very indicated all those things systematically in the scriptures. That is the wonder of wonders. That's what we have seen in the Chet Vang Manasi Pragyaha, because you try to merge the sort of a Vang, because Laya, when we see Vang, and when you are able to get to the Laya into that, you just merge it into the mind, because the mind, it gives you all sorts of, because it commands the senses to do everything, whatever it is seeing externally, all the objects. You get interested in every objects. But when you are able to merge the senses into the mind in the sense, because you and mind become almost same. But then what happens, because then you will not be having any discrimination. Indiscriminately, you will be rather, whatever in the world, you will be seeing it, and you will be trying to, like Charvaka philosophy, you will be trying to indulge and enjoy, as well as, face the consequences also. When you are enjoying, you will say, I am happiness. And when you are facing the consequences, why it is happening to me. So why it is happening to me, then in the case comes, have you done everything? Are you in our command? Whether you have got a free will, that's where the question of free will comes. So as far as free will is concerned, it is all the three gunas and the vasanas they control as far as our philosophy is concerned. That is why we say, we are only in instruments who are doing it, and it is being getting it done by some power in us. The ability to do was given by a power, but what we are doing is based on our vasanas and the sattva, rajasa and tamasa guna which we have accumulated. So more you are having a sattva component more than 50%, you will be trying to be sort of at an elevated stage. What you will be talking will be very different. You will be very, very kind, compassionate, and perhaps once your sattva component is somewhere in 70%, you will be someone of the reverend monks living somewhere, it is like that. Otherwise, you will have to have the rajasa and tamasa. No one will be having 100% sattva. So repeat. We will have to have some percent of sattva, some percent of rajasa, and some percent of tamasa. When we give a metaphor of a God, God is the one who is having full of sattva. Nothing. He is a nirguna in the sense he is guna paripurna, what we call it. Advaita call is nirguna. He can't be sort of confined, with the gunas and all. The other bhakti, bhakti schools like Tattvavada and Visishtadvaita is guna paripurna. He has got everything. Whatever you talk about, all the good aspects, all sattva, whatever components of sattva, everything is infinitely in there. In the sense, he is the power who has got that. Because of that only, he is able to be omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. That's how it happens. This is basically the approach we use, but scientists don't go by that. They say because look, naturally everything is evolving. Nature has got its own design, and they call it designoid. Designoid is every species has got its own design features. Like human being, we have got our own design features. We are all Homo sapiens. When we are Homo sapiens, we are now presently in the Homo sapiens stage, and now last year, the Nobel laureate has proved that we have also got little of Neanderthal genes also in us. And otherwise, it was called Homo erectus. Homo erectus was not so tall and all, because they were also species. They were living in Papua New Guinea and in Indonesia. They were there and all. They were told to be much more intelligent than us. And they were able to accomplish, even though the station shape was different. So these are all some of the mysteries. They believe in that, because when it has happened, when it has been recorded, when it has been found, how the evolution has taken place, we have to believe more in nature. In the sense, because they find it difficult to believe there is someone else called God, who can do all these things. But we say, look, because who has given this designoid also? There must be someone who must have created. That is where the entire sort of divergence takes place. In spite of it, most of their findings are in fact indicating whatever has been indicated in the scriptures. Like with Yachet Vang Manasi, Pragyaha, from there it is Mahat. From Mahat, it is then, finally we go to the Shanta Atmani, because that's what the mantra what we have seen is Shanta Atmani is finally when you get into a stage, full of bliss, when we call it every day is a Vaibhavam, celebration, that means you don't have any enemy. You don't have anything to bother about. And very often when we bother about, or there's simple things, maybe health or, because financial issues or the personal issues and all, basically, because we are not, we are not tuning ourselves to face and, because we are not acceptant and then go about it. Because that maturity in the sense, because the ability has not come into us. The ability, once it comes, it will become a Vaibhavam. All of us will have problems. And Vivekananda says, if you don't have a problem in your day, because you feel then you are not on a wrong path. If you are on the right path, you will have a problem. That's what it is, one of his famous quotes. That means, it's not without, if someone says, Anand mein hai hamesha, because that is your mental state. It's not that he will also be having a problem. But then he has treated it that way. He is able to get the bliss out of it. He is able to make it into a celebration of the day. But we are not able to make, because that is the highest level which every one of us are trying to achieve. Very difficult to achieve. That's also says. It is only for this only. The next few mantras are going to take us to the further, the sort of how to make an attempt to get into that, how to keep ourselves blissful all through the day. That's what, we are going to see the next most important mantra, 1.3.14. As we go about it, because this is what it is going to. And here, so one of the things when they say, the senses have to be merged into the mind and all, because these are all taking, how it is, getting merged. Last week we explained, with a little explanations and all to that, and how the words comes out of our mouth, and how the words can take the feelings again back into the mind, because like we talk about how the manasa, because but para, we are able to Vaikari Vani, how we can able to make it internalize it, when you are chanting the name, how you can have the feeling of the chanting of that name into your mind and get it, all those things we said. Here I will just take one example, because then we'll go to the next mantra afterwards immediately. There is one very famous Kalidasa's invocation mantra is there. It is Raghuvamsam. You might have heard. It's Raghuvamsam, Kumarasambhavam, Meghadutam. It's all masterpieces by Kalidasa. The first mantra of Raghuvamsam is it is a sort of Mangalacharan, in the sense, prayer. But it's so wonderful a prayer, I think, because a book has been written on that prayer itself. It's so great a prayer. Most of us might have heard it, because sometimes we might have given attention. Sometimes all of us may be doing it every day. In fact, this is the first thing it's being taught, when we all embarked upon the study of Sanskrit in those days, when we were just 7 years, 8 years and all. First thing, this mantra says like, Vagartaviva Samprutau Vagarta Pratipattaye Jagataka Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameswarau. Most of us might have heard it, might have given attention, or most of us might be knowing it also. Vakartaiva, when you are talking, the words and the meaning, they're inseparable. Because what you are meaning, because what you are telling and what you are meaning, for you, as far as you are concerned, it is inseparable. Vakartaviva Samprutta. Like how you will not be able to separate the word out of the meaning out of the word, what you are telling, and the word out of the meaning, what you are telling to someone else. Every day what we are talking. When we are talking, I am also talking, I think, I am thinking, I am telling in this meaning, but how you are going to understand is based on your, because you got the operating system, and your operating system will communicate what it means. So he says inseparable. Like, when you say merge in the sense, senses and mind, they are inseparable. Sense is only an instrument. And the mind is the one, which is getting all thoughts and giving it. And from mind, when it gives all sorts of thoughts, the discriminating power is with the intelligence, that is buddhi. Prajnaha. Prajnaha, what's it? Vang, Yachet, Vang, Manasi, Prajnaha, when he said, it is the intellect that is thing. From Vak, then Prajnaha also, finally, Prajnaha Mahati, because then it goes to, that is a Mahati, the cosmic mind. The intelligence also, the discriminating power, what it has, it may also have a limitation. But the limitation also, you can just take it out by getting the cosmic thing. Cosmic, that how you will be able to get, because when you are able to meditate, when you are able to listen to, finally a guru only will be taking you to the cosmic. So it is basically through the Agama, Shruti. Shruti is the mother. So unless you are taken to your mother, who will be feeding you with all the affection, irrespective of the fact, because of whether you are doing the right thing or wrong thing to her, you will be able to get from a mother Shruti. And that is, cosmic mind comes, once you get into that, understand the Shrutis, when you get that final thought comes, then your discriminating power goes several fold. Because that is the purpose of the human existence itself. We are aware of our existence, we are aware of our actions, but when we are able to get through, because all the emotional streams, come through, happiness, sorrow, everything and all, as we go about it, once you are able to get through that, finally the cosmic mind gives it. Here it's same thing. Kalidasa says, Vagartaviva Samprutav, Vak Artha Pratipatti. Because Vak and Artha Pratipatti, one thing, both are inseparable, they are dependent on each other, you can't separate it. Jagataka Pitarau, Vande Parvati Parameswar. Jagataka Pitarau, because he is a great, of course, Bhakta of Shiva and Parvati. Jagataka Pitarau, because for the entire beings, not only the human beings, all the animals, all the insentients, all the objects, everything, Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameshwar. This is one meaning that is being interpreted. It has got 64 meanings, the same mantra. I am not elaborating, it is a separate subject. I think one Gauri Mahulkar, the very famous professor of Bombay University, she has almost given a explanatory talk on that, and even there is a book also. How many meanings are there? It also invokes by there is something called Anvaya in Sanskrit. You will be able to separate the words, and there is something called Sandhi. When the two words are being joined together, there is a Sandhi also. There is a sort of a rules are there. Sandhi, Samasam in the sense making it together, because trying to cull out the meaning from one another between the words. Once you have all those things, the same mantra will give right to Vishnu and Lakshmi also, Vinayaka and Saraswati also. It will also get the mind and intellect also. Everything, the entire, whatever we have discussed about this mantra will be able to explain with these two couplets. This is the beauty, because this is what, if you see, you go to the Google and see Raghuvamsam first mantra, you will be able to see how many explanations are there. So this is the greatness of the Kalidasa. This is the greatness of the language. Vagartava Samprutava Vagarta Pratibaddiye Jagataka Pidaro Vande Parvati Parameswar. But it gives whatever we have discussed so far into this. And before going to the next mantra, I will just only wanted to tell one particular thing. This is, because the same thing, what we have got it in our Gita also. Indriyani Paran Yaha Indriyobhyo Param Manaha. Same thing it says. Because Indriyani, whatever we have discussed, it says, it is emphasizing Manamastu Paraha Buddhiryo Buddhe Parastutha. Because when intellectual, even beyond the intellectual, intelligence is the soul. We see, in discriminating power, what we have got is good, but beyond that it is there. Why we get into the cosmic mind, and when we talk about we need a guru and all, we will be able to get that because our ability to think over certain things. We have got limitations. To transcend that limitations, to go beyond that, to understand that, only a guru will be able to take. When you go to a guru, you will have to submit and surrender to the guru. Because we will say Mundaka Upanishad, when we will be taking it, it is otherwise called Atharvana Upanishad. In the Atharva Upanishad, we will see that you will have to Shotram Brahmanishtyam, the one who has mastered the Shruti and lived based on the Shruti, he will be able to see you through. What are all your SWOT analysis, strengths, weakness, opportunities and threats? He will take away the threats and he will just imbibe the strengths in you, and all the weaknesses he will convert it into strengths. Likewise, he will do it in the sense he will enable you to do it yourself. He is not, because he will bring you your mental attitude and approach, he will bring it in such a way you will be able to. That's why Guru is very, very important. So when he is telling Vagattave Samprutta Vagatta Pratipattiye Jagataka Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwar, is invoking you be the Guru. You be, because giving us the knowledge to that, because that is what in Raghuvamsam first he says. So likewise it is, and another one is, because the 7th chapter 4th mantra, we were talking about, in fact, we had a discussion with Madam, after the session last week. In that, because we talked about, what the entire in the mass and energy, what we have talked about in 7.4 mantra, concisely I will tell you, it takes, I am the energy in all form, all the 5 elements, earth, Vayu, Agni, and as well as water. And apart from that, he says Manas also as an element, it says cosmic mind, because our mind and cosmic mind, both are cosmic mind and the cosmic intelligence. They are also two. The cosmic mind, the cosmic intelligence, and the cosmic ego. And our ego is the one, which you have to surrender to the cosmic ego. So he says all the 8 elements, I am in control of all the 8 elements, he says. I am in the control of all the elements. As far as the body is concerned, it is only made of 5 elements. So what you call the bodied person, you will have only a composition of the all 5 elements. Even the brain is a part of the 5 elements only. But your mind, your intellect, and your chitta, what we call chitta, all the 3 elements, the other 3 elements, what he talked about in Gita, they are disembodied. It is not there. In your Sushma Sarira, it is there. But Lord Krishna calls, it is also an element. I have only created. But how he creates? he makes it, everyone what he deserves he gets based on your vasanas. You get the chitta based on your vasanas, and they, based on that, your mind works, and your intelligence has the discriminating power based on that. But you have been given an opportunity in this birth to enhance it to several fold. That's what it says. So this is exactly when it says, finally he says, I am in the form of energy in all these things. So in the physics, for a long time, they all believed it is only the earth is made of the solid matter. And afterwards, because when Neil Bohr and Planck and all, when they came, they said they brought in, because the further science and modern science into that, it is a form of energy and the matter. And the matter is only a sort of a 0.01%, rest of it is energy. So it is called the dual component. It's the dual part of the energy, but that is how, it's all the energy orientation. And it all also waves. The waves go through all these, just a minute. So, so this energy, because entire bundle is equal to mc squared when he proposed, as Madam was telling, because long time he was not able to sort of bring it to the knowledge to the whole community, because in a simpler way, so that people can understand it. It's only people who are attempting to get into the physics, modern physics, they were able to understand that. Others were not able to. Whereas in the simpler component in the 7th chapter of the 4th verse, if you see yourself, there itself, it has been very clearly indicated this is it. So this is, they have indicated, because even that is not the end of it. Because the one, which I have sent in the YouTube of Deepak Chopra, he says even the matter is not a very, very big component. Because they say now it is called the dark matter and dark energy, what I call antimatter and anti-energy. Still, they are not able to understand what is the dark matter or antimatter or anti-energy and all. That is the one finally has been the reason for creating all these, the Earth, universe, all these behind, all these big bangs and all those things. It is that it's not the matter alone. But we are talking about the matter, and we are talking about the 5 elements part of the matter, and we have got about 118 elements, because 120 elements in Mendeleev, the periodic table which is there. We are trying to confine ourselves to, but it is beyond that. It has been indicated in the scripture. Direct and indirect, obvious as well as, because what is visible, both. So that is the one of the things 7.4. We will also be taking it next, because when as in the course of the next 4 verses also we'll be taking it. Before that, I will just commence the law. The most important ones, 1.3.14 is the most important verse of the Kathopanishad. It has become too important because Swami Vivekananda took it as a tool to the propagate, not only the Hinduist point of view across the world, as well as to make every Indian to feel, have the self-respect. Till Vivekananda came into the scene, because it's all, because it's a gloomy outlook. Everyone was subjugated. They were not able to look beyond their nose. They just accepted the fate as it is. They have taken, because it's all, we can do, because within the circumstances. That's what. But he just, because he brought them out, because he brought into a liberated stage with this mantra. This is the, in your page 78, 1.3.14. You will be seeing the heading, a wake-up call from the wise. This is, it's remarkably the commanding call, because given by Swami Vivekananda. Uttishta, Jagrata, Prapya Varan Nibodhita. Arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. This is exactly the word, because that's being quoted everywhere, and everyone try to understand that and all. But the real quote of it, Uttishta, Jagrata, because every day, when you are all being deluded by your own emotions, deluded by your own infirmities, deluded by your sufferings, you always feel, because you are nowhere, you are at the dead end. Uttishta, get up. Because when you get up in the morning, what do you do? Uttishta Jagrata, awake. Normally, we are supposed to be awake and then we get up. That's what we physically what we do. But what he says is the psychological and emotional stage, what is happening. When you get up, you just get up, but you are still sleepy. You are in a slumber. What he says is even the waking stage, when you are working in that world day to day, you are in a slumber. You have not realized yourself. You are still sleeping. Get out of that. Uttishta, Jagrata, Prapya. In the sense, get the final, because whatever you're determined to do, whatever the goal you want to achieve, have a goal. And how will you be able to have a goal? Have a master, approach the masters, who you can. Masters are maybe, because the direct master who can enable you, or the knowledge that comes through various mediums, books, and, because as well as you may be getting, some one particular word of a one person might have changed the entire life. You might be interested in some other subject, the person would have said, because this is something like that so beautiful. Because I got interested in chemistry because I have got one professor, I can't forget, one professor, Pechimuttu. He gave me such a wonderful idea about chemistry. I think I was a chemistry graduate, mainly because of him. I didn't have any particular interest in chemistry and all, but he infused so much of a sort of enthusiasm into that. Of course, now one could excel and one could do further and all, but it all means because that one person. It's not your parents, it's not your, because the friends, it is not the world that say, because you are also reading so many things, but like someone comes across. Maybe someone must have met you, in a railway station and told you something, and it might have changed. You might have got a spark. How spark comes, we don't know. It's a propia. And we always look for, because knowledge comes from everywhere. Rig Veda, there is a particular word. Knowledge comes from everywhere. In fact, Karakpur, that entire emblem is having that Rig Vedic, statement. Varan Nibodhata. Once you get it, because stop not. Once you are determined, you should go to the end, to the hilt. You should not give it up. It's not that, because I did so much, because I'm not able to get it. Then, most of the time, because you get distracted by something, it's not my cup of tea. That's what is happening now. Whether a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer or a textile engineer or an environmental engineer, everyone becomes a software engineer. Why can't a mechanical engineer can't excel, because, where he can do, like, in manufacturing? Why can't electrical engineering go into, because there are a lot of the new electrical technology is coming about, because we've got the power generation from the alternate sources and thereof distributed power system. So many things are taking place because, because see, you do it because you are looking for some comfort. Comfort in life, life kush ho jayega. Gaadi, bangla, family, this is what we talk about and all. The first thing to get the knowledge is you have to be prepared to give up your comfort. When you go to, because we will be seeing in Mundaka Upanishad, the Atava Upanishad, when we go to him, we have to go with the Samit. Samit Panihi Stotram Brahmanishtyam. You will have to go to Samit, which is going to be put in the Yaga Yajna that will be performed by the Guru every day. You go with your Samit. The way you collected the summit has got, you cannot be able to every sort of a stick, which is available in the forest as a summit. It has got a particular, because what type of a summit you should take. It has got the dimensions. You will have to pick up those stuff. You should not break it. It should be available naturally. By taking the summit, you go to your guru. Stotriyam Brahmanishtam. Samit Panihi. When you go, Pani is the hand. Samit Panihi, when you go with those Samit, your guru will understand what type of interest, what type of Samit you have brought. Because for every yajna has got a particular type of Samit to be put in. So you brought the right type of Samit as you have been, as I've been enshrined in the Shrutis. So you will go there with that. Then you will understand, yes, you have got the real interest. But you have got all the worldly passions, you go to your guru, it is like a touching the dynamite. Because you will be getting all sort of, because your sort of the attitude will be to know, what is suitable to you, how to make, how to make money in the stock market and how to make wealth and how to multiply and all these things will be there. And but, because this This knowledge is not for that. This knowledge is elevate you, take you to a different dimension of yours, take into you into a different world of yours, which you are eligible, you are entitled. It is your birthright. It is to take it up, but you will not be. That is why he says, Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Varam Nibodhita. Arise, awake, stop not till you reach the goal. That's what he said. We will see the rest of it, because the next session, I will try to conclude today's session, though we had some, because I had a delayed start today. I'm sorry for that. And next session we will complete it. Next week, I'm having a guest here. So I will not be able to have the session. Week after next, we have got some personal work also. We'll have to attend some statutory work. So therefore, we will be having a next session on 12th of January. Wish you all a very, very happy new year. The happy new year, we will be starting with the famous words of Vivekananda, arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. That is the Suttishta Jagrata Prapya Varar Nibodhita. And then we will be see the rest of the mantras as well. Thank you. Today I am concluding the session with this, and we will be meeting again on January 12th. And next 2 weeks, wish you all a very, very happy and wonderful year end, as well as wonderful New Year 2024. We'll be meeting again in the 12th January. Sahana Vavato, Sahanau Bhunakto, Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi, Tejasvinavadidamastu ma Vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll be having a small meditation.